What's up on this Friday edition? Friday the 13th, by the way, second cup of sunrise.
Yes,
we're
Friday
going to
the
do our
13th.
typical news stuff. Got some Bill stuff up here too, because we're going to hear from the new wide receiver number one,
Yes.
perhaps, for
DJ.
Josh Allen. DJ Moore from the Bears.
Been on my fantasy team a couple of times.
He was great 5 years ago in your lineup.
Yes, he
having
was.
it. Yes,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
we'll have all that. And
Now
of
he's
course,
on the bench.
Yes,
Or maybe a flex.
on the wrong week, and then you're like, that was the one week where I'm getting 23 points from him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Listen, he was immediately up to the starter for, the go-to
Sure.
for Josh Allen. So we'll have that in just a bit because he spoke for the first time. Lots to talk about on this Friday. It will be just us as well.
Yes.
I was thankful for all the guests. So that was fun. People hearing about the pod and come on here and being
Yeah.
able to just sit back and be like, okay, longer than a 2 or 3 minute TV interview. We
Yeah.
can just let it go.
Let it breathe.
Yeah.
It's so, I think the TV gets criticized for that, for not allowing for people to have that their full voice on, and we're able to provide that here. So
We
that's,
only
that's
have
kind of nice.
so much space when we're on the traditional medium. But
Right.
this is where we want to do everything.
Air
now.
things out a little bit.
So we're getting ready for St. Pat's, the parade tomorrow.
Yep.
And St. Pat's next week is Tuesday.
Tuesday the 17th.
Got
yes.
that.
Yeah.
We were wondering this morning, and I asked you if you'd ever done a DNA test.
Right.
And you had not. And this is, Ancestry.com, 23andMe, but data breach a few years ago. And I get why people wouldn't do it because
Yeah.
of what you can
Now, you
find
gotta-
out about
it's
somebody.
DNA. You got to spit in something, right? And send that.
Yes. So how did I get it? It was a gift. Someone gave it to me
Mm-hmm.
and came in and you open it up and it looks like basically a COVID test, but it's not your nose.
Sure.
It's your spit. And so you
Right.
put it all, do your sample, follow the instructions, put it in a box and it's already stamped and you send it off. And then they're like, in a couple of weeks, we will send you your results.
Right.
And when you first get it, it may come back with 2 or 3 countries. And then and this was early on. So I probably did it 5, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But as more people, and I get the concerns with all this data coming in from so many
Right.
people, it's a better pool to pull from.
Now, you have to also enter some information about yourself, right?
Yes.
It's not just your saliva and your name. It's
Yeah.
also like age,
Right.
like your mother's name, where you think you're from, things like that.
Yeah, you can go fill out, and there are different tiers versus free versus what you pay for. Mine was like the most basic thing. And when we asked for what's up right this morning, it was most people saying 75, 80% saying they've never done it. And maybe there are ones that just have old school, the family tree somewhere in the house
Right.
with pictures, names, and you can tell the kids and grandkids about that. I was convinced, and I knew for many years that I was like 2/3 English from the UK.
Sure.
And then about 1/3 from Ireland, which not in the UK. And then I went in and because I said, we can talk about this on the pod. And I checked my results again. I haven't
Yeah.
checked in a long time.
That's funny.
And I've ignored all the, hey, new DNA profiles for your whatever.
Ah.
I am,
Let's hear it.
there are 10 ancestral regions. And I can, I don't mind showing the map. There's no information on here, I don't think. Let me make sure. Yep. So
All right, here we go.
it's just the map.
Look at that.
So there you go.
You're so white.
A little Scandinavian as well too. The bulk of it is central Scotland and northern Ireland, 25%. And
Scotland,
yeah, so most of it
there you
is from somewhere in Ireland. So I'm mostly
Oh,
Irish. So I
that's-
got that.
Oh, how about that?
I know.
Bravo.
What a surprise.
You're
it changed.
Irish.
Yeah, I got that. And then there's the middle part being from England and then 3% Swedish, 3% Dutch.
Dutch, little Dutch. Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That's kind of fun.
Got all that.
What's the highest percentage is Irish?
It is Celtic and Gaelic.
At what percentage?
So that's 25% total. That's Central
quarter.
Scotland and Northern Ireland. Yeah.
So you can say you're a quarter Irish.
Yeah. And out of the breakdown of that, so out of the most of whatever, the most is from Ireland. Yeah.
How about that? That's pretty cool.
I know.
My mother's last name is Mason,
Mhm.
which we used to name my son.
Yep.
And Scottish, she says. There's some history in Scotland.
You got
so,
that.
There you go. So I guess a little bit Scottish. I've asked my father many times about what my history is, and he tells me, son, you are American.
Sure.
That's what he says.
Yes.
And I think
He's not wrong.
I think he's being a little bit cute
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He probably knows and just enjoys like not telling me.
Yeah.
So he says I'm American, which is really, it's pretty true.
It is.
Considering I'm born here,
Right.
You could probably go back to like great Great, and I'm still from the United States.
I finally did my the American Community Survey. So that's basically the yearly census from the Census Bureau. The
Yeah.
samples they send out to I don't know how many people. My house got picked, and they do that each year instead of the census every 10 years. When I got into login the other day, I was alone at the house,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I got some time before I'm going to pick up kids.
Sure.
And I log in. It's like, put in your code that we sent you. And it says, okay, here's your PIN number. You need to save this because this PIN is only good for 15 minutes. The survey may take 45 minutes. And I was like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I started doing the math. And I was like, what are they going to be asking? And I was
Sure.
like, this is like driving school, thinking it's going to be hours.
Right.
And I was like, 45 minutes. So I'm like, okay, let me just see if I can. I said, I got to get this done.
Crank it
Because they send you the first letter and it says punishable by federal law if you don't do it. You're required. You have to
Yeah.
do it. And I got that. And then probably a week and a half later, the same day I decided to do the survey, I checked my mail. There was a second letter saying, you have to do this survey.
Man.
I know. It was quick. And I was like, they wanted results immediately. So I get online and basically they ask you for your household, birth dates, has everyone lived in the house the same year, work, occupation, school for kids, things like that. And part of it is what's your race, ethnicity, is like, non-Hispanic, white, non-Latino. And then it goes into greater detail of what's your origin, where'd you come from? And it's like, English, Italian, French, so-and-so. And I'm like, well, okay, I put English, Irish, American.
Yeah.
It was like a box. You could
Yeah.
type whatever you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when it asked for the kids as well.
Man.
And I'm like, okay, well, my wife, like, Robusto, they're Italian. Like,
Yeah.
is she Italian, though?
Right.
And I'm like, and then I was like, my girls they're American.
Right.
Like, I didn't know what to put.
It's just so silly.
So I put like some dashes and hyphens on, just lumping it all again. And I was like, I think this is right.
Yeah.
And went through all that. And I was sitting there and I was just boom, 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 just trying to go through it, answering.
Right.
So many of them is just doesn't apply, doesn't apply, doesn't apply. No, 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 no. And I probably made it through in about 20 minutes. And
yeah, that's
hit
good.
submit.
So
Yeah.
they were a little bit extra with but still 20 minutes for a survey is not nothing.
I know, and I was thinking about how many people think the same thing when they send this out.
Right.
And I just
45 minutes.
did the best I could.
Well, so 23andMe, it was in late 2023 when there was
Yes.
a major data breach.
It's like 6 million people. It's like
yeah.
half the database.
Hackers specifically targeted and compiled information on users. With the Chinese heritage was a big one where they filed. There's a $30 million class action settlement. And widespread calls for users to delete their data. So that was obviously a big concern. And there was a lot of questions on like, it's really good with white people and because there's just more data in that. Like if you're from, like South Sudan or Eritrea, or, you know what I mean? Or like these random places. Well, I say random, just different
South
places.
America, like any place besides Europe,
America,
Yeah.
Africa, Southeast Asia. They just didn't have enough data.
the pool wasn't big enough.
So,
Yeah.
so you could be from the Philippines and fill it out, and it's like 5%, 50% China, 75% Australian. You're like, well, I know my parents are actually from the Philippines. You
Right.
know what I mean? So the data isn't that great if the pool isn't that big. So the bigger the pool, the better the data, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and that was mine. I mean, again, I thought before till I checked up, and who knows how accurate it is, but it was
It's
little.
fun, though.
It was little these
It's
two
fun to
countries.
do.
It was fun to know.
and you can do it with your dogs now.
I did it with our last dog, yes, and that was a saliva swab. Sent it off because we do adoptions or foster
the breed.
just to find out, and I need to do it with my current one because I know she's husky something, but just to find out.
Right.
Yeah.
What else is there?
What else? And then it comes up because there's always like this 1%er, and you're like, how did that get in there? Like
Yeah.
she may be poodle something
Dogs
for
have just
0.5%.
been, the interbreeding of the dogs is
Mhm.
just so crazy to see how you get different types of dogs.
Yeah.
All by human intervention. Within a few generations, they like create new models of dogs.
I know. And
wild.
but even on these tests, they may give up and be like, oh, you're pit mix,
Yeah.
something.
That kinda-
Or it's German
that
Shepherd, whatever.
Weirds me out a little bit. The whole let's take this one type of dog and have it, have sex with a different type of dog to make
Well,
a super dog.
yes.
It's just a little
There's the
uncomfortable
whole
for me.
natural thing of it's just this is how a stray shows up.
Yeah.
And it's however puppies, whatever mom and dad dog out there. And
Right.
then there's the whole other with breeders or whoever it may be. Our cat will be 1,000% Bengal. Like we know that with that one.
Sure.
But I have to check that with the dog. And I won't do the same test or share the swab. Again, do that. There's a story that we've been covering about this missing statue from a church. And I want to pull this up because there was a video update, by the way, from the father there. So this was Holy Cross Church in Rochester. That's on Lake Ave. Someone took the statue of Virgin Mary from the grotto outside of it. And here's where it was. It was empty in there. And it was missing for about 2 weeks. And so they were looking, putting out a plea for help, trying to find something. And then come to find out, they found it. And they are putting it back up as well.
Look at that.
The whole thing is now they're not sure exactly who took it or who brought it back. We'll try to find out some more about when exactly it showed up. But here is faith leaders. This is William Coffis speaking about it. And I'm going to get toward the end of his message. Here it is.
Overjoyed, absolutely overjoyed to have this statue soon to be returned to its rightful place, and it will certainly be secured this time. So thank you again. Let us continue to be joyful and to be thankful for the witness and the example of the Blessed Mother, and to obviously continue to pray for the person that did take it, and thank God for their good decision to return it to its rightful home.
It's back. By the way, he's at a conference in Baltimore. That's why it's snowing like that.
Okay.
So
I was going to say, that's not Rochester.
And it's just maybe it was someone just being stupid or whatever. And
wait, was that the statue behind him?
No, he happens to be at another church conference. Yes. No, it was that would be suspicious. No, not that. No, it was some stranger, and then someone brought it back. So that's an update that we have, and we had that for us this morning. The Syracuse hire for the athletic director.
Yeah.
It is done now. So this is the hires coming from Toledo. It's Brian Blair, and we heard out about this yesterday after the rumors were confirmed that he'll be introduced coming up next week. He has a nice track record of winning, and of course, you got to be raising money for NIL.
Yeah.
He took over Toledo in 22. He helped boost fundraising at that school by nearly 300%. In the Thursday announcement, the chancellor at CUSE praised his creative approach to the business of college athletics and also navigating the growing world of paying athletes. And we have this interview from when he was at Toledo, just talking about not just for that school, but overall what ADs have to do.
Everybody's got ability, right? But we need all of us to stretch beyond what we think is possible to try to aspire to something we think is impossible, because that's what our athletics department is trying to do right now, right? I talk a lot about accomplishing the impossible, because impossible is a phrase usually of quitters, right? People that don't believe you can do something are quick to tell other people what's impossible. We won't buy into that. I won't be capped by the conference. I won't be capped by location. I won't be capped by size of institution, any of that.
I love that. Ready to run through a wall.
How about that? Love it.
So he and the outgoing AD, pictured here, will have to hire the next coach after Adrian Autry was fired after 3 seasons.
Tough job.
No March Madness, coming after Jim Boeheim. And so what schools can do now is their salary cap basically is a little more than $20 million for athletics. And Syracuse launched a $50 million campaign to create champions and win championships.
Give us some money. We'll make it work.
All it is.
I didn't
that's
know
what
there
it'll
was
come
a
in and
cap.
do. It was, let me read this.
When did they make that?
So there was a settlement between the House and the NCAA. So here it is. It was the House versus NCAA class action lawsuit to grant D1 universities up to $20.5 million of revenue to be directly shared with players starting July 1st. SU will pay the max
All
of
players?
that. Yes.
So lacrosse,
Yep.
baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So this is, from Power 5 revenues.
I guess that kind of makes it a little bit cleaner.
The terms are that they can pay their athletes up to 22% of what they're bringing in from athletics. So that's estimated to be around 20.5.
Interesting.
And a lot of schools reporting, they basically, you got to have 40 or $50 million in the bank, to just have, to just run.
Sure.
It's just crazy.
Kids are they're making deals with like commercials and things like that.
Yeah.
And
But this is
promos.
like the payment directly from the school.
We're
and they're
literally
just
going to
They're always
Lining
fundraising.
pockets.
Always fundraising.
Yes. You get calls from Syracuse?
Yes.
Emails?
I've stopped. I get emails, I get letters, I get phone calls, and I haven't returned one in a while. I've never been invited to go back and speak at Syracuse, like to any student classes or anything.
Sure.
And I graduated from Newhouse, the broadcast school.
Yeah, and you're literally down the road, and you are a main anchor at a big TV station.
Whenever I was there, we had people, and I'm not talking ABC or NBC News. Like it was, a local sports reporter, Syracuse.com or someone from WSYR or someone from here who would talk. And I was probably with 20 or 25 graduates in my class. I think most of them came back at least once to talk. I haven't. I had a sneaky suspicion. I may be wrong. That's because I haven't given anything back to school.
I think that might have something to do with it. It's the same
Like
thing.
maybe I'm flagged somewhere in the
Yeah,
system.
with me and Oswego, I don't think I've given back to my money to my fraternity, donated it there, but I've never given back to the college. And no invites to talk.
Maybe we're both just in the system and just I'm
I mean,
convinced.
no offense taken, but
no, it sounds silly. And I thought about maybe one day, like, what if I just donate $50? Is that like, maybe that
see what
would
happens.
get me above the
Boy,
line, see
they'd
what
be
happens.
on you real good after that, wouldn't they?
Now I thought about it. When it came up, my job in Myrtle Beach, when I quit, I was dealing with panic attacks and stuff, thought it was going to be done. And I was unemployed for about 3 months. And I moved in with stuff in Richmond and I was still job hunting. I was in the parking lot of a Kroger, a grocery store, and I answered the phone. And it sounded like someone young, maybe interns, whoever they have, cold calling, asking for money.
Sure.
And they're like, do you want to donate to CUSE to help other students? And I was like, well, I'm currently not working right now. So I
can't afford
I'm in a spot.
donating. Yeah, no.
And she just goes, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but do you think you can still give, a little bit? And I said, did you hear me? Like, I'm unemployed.
Yeah,
I'm not giving back.
Literally don't have a
That
job.
was the last time I actually answered the phone call.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's it.
Right.
Again.
I'm so sorry to hear that. But if you have anything to spare,
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I was like, I get it, but come on. Like, not
to
working.
our nationally accredited
Not
university.
working. Working right now.
Yeah.
We'll be back here on the pod in just a little bit. I want to be fair to the story. Before the break, we were talking about how I'm convinced that because I haven't donated to my alma mater, the Hill on Syracuse, that I haven't been invited back to speak to a class. Someone reached out to me, an old professor, and asked about being an adjunct before.
Yeah.
And as was while I was here over at Channel 10, and it was like, 2 nights a week for a semester.
Sure.
But when you look at it, I mean, it was like $1,500.
Yeah, it's not a
something like
lot
that.
of money. No, it
No,
needs to
not
go all the way
for not
back.
for part time. And I know it's 2 hours a week of actual work, but maybe that's why I haven't been invited back because I wasn't going to go teach.
Yeah, and I'm in kind of like a weird spot where like I'm not a smarty pants where I'd go back and like talk to the meteorology students, but yet I'm not a broadcast major either. I did nothing in broadcasting. I took one broadcasting class my senior year, so I know very little about that. So I'm in like kind of a weird spot.
Were you in Steph's class at Oswego?
No.
Okay.
When did she graduate?
She's a year older than I, so
12.
would have been then. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 13.
Okay.
I think Steph and I worked together a couple of times. Just I don't think we ever really had any conversations.
Oh, Chris Horvatitz, who was a news anchor here. That's who it was. There was an old video of them at the anchor desk at the school whenever you do fake newscasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
there
who
you
it
go.
was. So now I know.
That's
to
a
the
great
bottom
name,
of that.
Horvatitz.
Horvatitz. Yeah, he was at WHEC, then he went to Buffalo, and now I think he does PR, which is what everyone does.
Dutch.
Business. Maybe. Oh, that's good. That's good. I do want to talk about some of the Bills because they're made a bunch of free agency moves to get Chubb for defensive rusher, some other names coming in, re-signing people. But the big one was about getting DJ Moore in the trade with Chicago. And he talked about being a wide receiver 1, maybe that top target for Josh Allen.
you gotta really figure out what your receiver one is really good at, and then as your receiver one, bringing anybody along with him to take some of the pressure off of the receiver one that is quoted to be the receiver one. So if that's not happening, then the receiver one is just out there just playing ball and getting strapped. And then if you don't have nobody else out there with like everybody else, other teams have, we have to go out there and just play as a unit.
What a Zoom setup, by the way.
That's a beautiful Zoom setup, but also I don't really understand the soundbite. What is he saying? Like,
what is getting strapped?
I thought getting strapped meant like you're getting covered very well.
Huh.
Like the cornerbacks got you locked in, like you're toast, like you're getting double teamed basically. So I thought what he was saying is I have to be really good unless I'm not really good, and then the second wide receiver has to be really good so I can be really good. Like his soundbite didn't really make any sense to me. I was
so maybe he doesn't get the double team, something like that.
I guess, but why don't you just say, "I'm looking forward to playing for the Bills. I know it's going to be tough to be my number one, and I'll fight hard." Like I don't know.
Is that another stray at Keon Coleman?
It was
done him that he's got a.
It kind of felt like a stray at either the other Bills wide receivers.
Yeah.
It just felt very jumbled, and like I'm not satisfied with that soundbite.
Can you name the number 2? Josh Palmer.
Of the wide receiver core, it's the tight ends.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
it's
for
the
sure.
tight ends.
For sure.
Sorry, wide receivers.
And Knox got his new deal too.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
come back, restructure.
So those are the guys you focus on when you're like, all right, how do we stop Josh Allen in the passing game? You shut down the tight ends. I don't care about the wide receivers.
It was so much talk this week. They redid Josh Allen's deal. The Ravens did that with Lamar Jackson. And
restructure.
The salary cap. Just have no idea. How it works.
Yeah, it's mystery.
Because it's like a week and a half ago, the Bills are like they're 15 million over. They got to get under. You can't. You have to. It's not like MLB or NBA where you pay the extra tax on it for being that much over. And it's just like we make some moves and poof. Now we've got $50 extra million to spend.
It's so interesting because in nearly all other industries, you have no idea how much money your coworkers make. In the NFL, you know every single player's contract. So you know if you're a left tackle and your left guard might make $10 million more than you make. And you have a game where you go on a 3-game stretch and you play better than that guy. And you're like, well, geez, why am I not making as much money as him?
The salary cap's like, is it like 280 million, something like that? And so as you take your 40 million out for a quarterback, you take your, what's the top receivers getting now? Almost 20,
25. Defensive ends are getting paid crazy amounts.
You take that out. So it's like 3 players.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting.
Right.
And it's, that's what the Cowboys ran into with Dak, with their Micah Parsons before. And
defensive end,
and then CD trying to get paid.
And then one of the players goes out on injury, and then you're like paying for a guy sitting on the bench.
I know.
I mean, that was crazy with the Broncos and Russell Wilson. You know, they were just giving the guy hand over fist, $50 million a year, something insane.
I know.
And he stunk.
I tried to understand it, and I asked ChatGPT, and I said, explain the salary cap to me like I'm 5 years old.
Yes.
And it did it to me in toys, like worth $20 if the NFL gives that to you.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you know, you restructure, which is it's a signing bonus now, and you take whatever's going to be owed and you just punt it 3 or 4 years down the road. So if it's $20 now, but it's only counting $4 this year, that's $16 for that $20 toy still has to get paid. And then at the bottom it said, the Saints pull a magic trick out every year, and it's tantalizing for fans. Would you like me to explain that? And it did too. And it basically said, my Saints, they are just never going to be in tank now mode. They're never going to rip the Band-Aid off and just say, we've got to suck for 2 years and it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're just going to keep magically making this money go 4 or 5 years down the road thanks to the Drew Brees contract.
Kick the can, baby.
It is wild. It is wild. Okay, we've got 20 seconds here for the weather for the weekend.
Yeah, a little late day here. Snow on its way. We'll get some snow midday, and temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 30s, so a lot of it melts. And then very windy tonight. Wind advisories, high wind warnings out west. Could see 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Breezy Saturday morning, but overall I think the parade should be all right, just cold.
Yep, and then Sunday, and then Monday 60.
It's going to be weird.
Tuesday morning,
Yeah.
20 degrees, a 40-degree drop. Yeah, how
At
about
least.
that? We'll see you at noon. Have a great weekend and stay warm, everybody.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.